Right now, lawmakers are on the Lower East Side pushing a new Dreamers Act. The bill would provide a pathway to citizenship for so-called dreamers, those brought to the U.S. illegally as children. Mayor de Blasio is there, as well as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Right now, Representative Nydia Velazquez is speaking. Let's listen in.
Then you are an American. Today, we're going to hear from a few immigrants who are in that situation. They have worked hard. They have been here for years. They have deep roots in their communities, but because of Donald Trump's hateful anti-immigrant policies, they now live in fear that they will face deportation and potentially be separated from their families. But guess what? We are not going to let that happen. That's right. As sometimes I say, for New Yorkers, immigrants are our neighbors, and New Yorkers stand up for our neighbors. That is why I have joined with Congresswoman Roybal Allard and Yvette Clarke to author H.R. 6, the American Dream and Promise Act. This legislation essentially says to the young dreamers, if you came here under the age of 17 and you have been here for 4 or more years nonstop, then you can stay in the U.S. If you are in that same situation and you have been employed most of the time, or you have served in our military, or have obtained or are working toward your college degree, then you can apply for legal permanent residence. And from there, you may pursue a path to citizenship. These young people are some of our hardest workers. They are American in every way, except on paper. They are exactly the kind of immigrants we want in this nation, and this bill will help them stay here. Our bill has similar provisions for recipients of TPS, or Temporary Protected Status, or DED, Defend Enforced Departure. If you have been here in the U.S. for 3 years, then you can apply for legal permanent residence, and from there, you pursue citizenship. When we talk about our TPS and DED populations, we're talking about some of our most vulnerable neighbors. These are people who fled natural disasters or political violence. They came here with the heartfelt belief that the words inscribed at the base of the Statue of Liberty, just 3 miles from here, give me your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, and not a hollow tourist attraction. These words are a sacred American compact, etched into the character of our nation. They are a promise we still honor. And we are going to prove that to the dreamers, TPS recipients, and those in the DED program. The legislation I helped author currently has 210 co-sponsors in the House of Representatives. In coming days, we are going to push for additional sign-on. Then I expect it will move through the Judiciary Committee, Jerry Nadler's committee, and not long after that, it will pass on the House floor. But part of the reason we are here today is to amplify the importance of this bill to our Senate Republican colleagues. I know there are senators on the other side of the aisle who privately acknowledge this is the right thing to do. It is my hope, when this bill clears the House, that they will feel the need to stand up, do the right thing, and help pass it into law. This is the American way, and it is the right thing to do. With that, let me turn it over. And now we will hear from a great champion, our mayor, Mayor Bill de Blasio.
Yes. Thank you. want to first say we are so blessed to have as one of our representatives in the Congress such an extraordinarily passionate leader on behalf of all of the immigrants who have made this city and this nation great. Let's thank Nydia Velázquez for her leadership. I just want to start with a very quick story. It's a story of a couple named Giovanni and Anna. And they lived very near to here. And they came to this country from very small towns in southern Italy. And they would not have been acceptable in the eyes of our president. You know, the president likes to talk about quote-unquote chain migration as a derogatory term, people following their families to the United States to make a better life. This couple followed family members, came here, and they would not have met the president's definition of people who could contribute. They did not speak English. They did not have advanced degrees. They didn't have jobs worked out in advance. They came here with love for their family, with heart, with soul, with passion, with energy, with a desire to work hard. And I am so proud to say they were my grandparents. And they lived near to here. They lived near here. And even though neither one of them ever could have dreamed of college, all of their daughters went to college. And I have the tremendous honor of being here as your mayor because of their hard work, their sacrifice, the risk they took. And everyone in this room could tell their own version of that story. So we have to keep that in mind because there's a blunt reality that we have to face in this country, that we have to either accept that immigration has made us strong across generations and generations, regardless of race or country of origin, or we're going to live in a hypocrisy, an unacceptable hypocrisy from my point of view, where we say that yesterday's immigrants were worthy, but today's are not somehow. So I believe that people in this country understand quite well that we have thrived because of immigration, that it has made us strong, and that they know our dreamers in particular need to be protected. We see it over and over again that is in the heart of the American people, and that's why this legislation is legislation as time has come. Very quickly want to say what this means. You know, for hundreds of thousands of families, they still live in doubt. They live in pain, they live in fear. I've talked to them right here in our city, but I've talked to them around the country. Imagine if you're doing everything right, but you don't know if you'll get to stay. Anybody who has not spoken to a dreamer or someone here on TPS, just trying to make ends meet, trying to help their family back home, if you haven't spoken to them and heard their hearts, it's hard to imagine what this means in human terms. But our nation's policies are creating fear among our own people because these are our own people. And we have to be clear, these are our neighbors, these are our brothers and sisters. In this city, we're proud to be a city of immigrants, and we also put the lie to the notion that somehow immigrants are a drag on our nation or on our economy. In this city, we have the strongest economy we have ever had. We have the lowest crime we have ever had since the 1950s, and we have the most immigrants we have had in a century. Put those pieces together. Immigrants helped us to become stronger, safer, more prosperous. Now, finally, something's starting to change in our national discussion because the people spoke in November 2018. The people thought we needed a new Speaker of the House. They were right. And we needed a new majority in the House. And can I just take one personal point of privilege as an Italian American to say, Speaker, in the entire history of the American people, and Italians have been here since the 1700s, but you are literally the Italian American who reached the highest heights in the history of this nation, and we are so proud of you. God bless you. To Speaker Pelosi, to Congress members Velázquez and Clark and Nadler, Maloney, your leadership means so much. And we need you right now, and all those folks that I mentioned are depending on you. Well, the good news is it's in your heart and soul to make sure that people are protected for the good of this whole nation. Because these are folks who are part of our communities, who help make us stronger, who help our economy to be stronger. They are our neighbors, they are our friends. And a quick message to all dreamers in New York City, to all TPS recipients, to anyone who would be positively affected by this legislation, I want you to know that we in New York City, while we are waiting for change in Washington, we have your back in New York City. We will protect you. We will not ask your documentation status. Our police never ask your documentation status. They work with all people, all immigrants. Our hospitals, our schools, we respect everyone and want everyone to thrive. If anyone feels they are being threatened by deportation, if anyone fears that their family is in danger and they need help, you can call 311 for free legal advice and for representation. That is a policy of this city. You just call and you say Action NYC, and help will be given to you in whatever language you speak. So here's our way of sending a message to Washington. We believe in these good people who are our neighbors. We will stand by them. In a country still sorting itself out on these issues, we are proud in New York City to be a beacon. I hope to be an antidote to the challenges that we see out there. This city shows that respect for all people is the way forward for this country as well. Now, a few quick words in Spanish. Las políticas federales. It's going to be with an Italian accent because the speaker is here. Las políticas federales afectan a familias, amigos y compañeros de trabajo y estudios en nuestra ciudad de inmigrantes. Por eso, estamos aquí unidos para pedir la aprobación de la ley federal de la promesa y el sueño americano. Quiero decirle a los inmigrantes, nuestra ciudad está con ustedes. Llamen al 311, pregunten por Acción NYC y les daremos la ayuda que necesitan en su idioma. We're here to help, and we're here to support our immigrant brothers and sisters. And when this legislation passes, we will be a better, wholer nation. With that, it is my great honor to bring forward Steve Choi.
Good morning, everybody. And on behalf of the New York Immigration Coalition, I want to thank Speaker Pelosi for coming across the country. Even though you're from California, we still love you here in New York. But Speaker Pelosi has made it a priority for the new House of Representatives to talk about justice for immigrants, and we are thankful for that. And I also want to thank the rest of our amazing congressional delegation, Congress members Carolyn Maloney, Jerry Nadler, and of course our champions Yvette Clarke and Nydia Velasquez. Yvette Clarke has been working on justice for TPS holders for years. And Nydia Velasquez, thank you, Yvette. And Nydia Velasquez, what can you say? If there is a fight to be taken to Donald Trump, you want La Luchadora at the front of that fight. Friends, this legislation is a shining example of what happens when you get elected officials and champions working together with advocates. And I want to recognize that there's so many organizations here in New York who have fought for so many years on these issues. Groups like ADICAR, African Communities Together, the Asian American Federation, Haitian Women for Haitian Refugees. The list goes on and on. CPC, the Chinese American Planning Council, Min Kwan Center, Atlas DIY. There are so many organizations that have fought this fight for years. And on behalf of those organizations and the NYSC, I am proud to announce today that we are launching a statewide campaign to get every single member of the New York congressional delegation to sign on to this bill, because that is what we need. And let me tell you why we need that in New York. It's because there are 100,000 young New Yorkers and 26,000 TPS holders right here in the state of New York who could benefit from this. And what does this bill mean for them? It means hope. It means the promise of a secure future. It means that they can put down roots and achieve the kind of brighter, secure, and more prosperous future that they deserve. And that is critical for those hundreds of thousands of young New Yorkers. And that is why we are going to be fighting for this. And the crystallization, the example of that is really one person that I'd like to introduce. Her name is Vanessa. She has been here for more than 25 years. And she came to Cabrini Immigrant Services a couple years ago. And Cabrini is an amazing organization just a couple blocks from here, working with immigrant communities on the Lower East Side. And she got help on her DACA. And that is what this legislation means to people like Vanessa. It means hope, and it means the promise of a brighter future. So please join me in welcoming Vanessa to the podium.
Well, we have been listening to Mayor de Blasio and other lawmakers calling to push a new Dreamers Act. It was introduced into the legislature yesterday and would provide a pathway to citizenship for so-called dreamers, those brought to the U.S. illegally as children. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on CBSN New York. See you then.